before, haven't we? He kind of like needs that almost.
Yeah, I want him to have that swagger.
It's helped him raise the intensity of his game. It's not necessarily an appealing characteristic for people to have, but a lot of our winners over time have had that hint of arrogance.
Yeah.
It's just when he's a bit of a cock celebrating that winds me up. But other than that, absolute dynamite kick off the touchline after that try where Maguire got sin-binned for giving in like more than fucking 2 or 3 gobshites at the referee.
And credit to Hicks for sending
and then being stood right in front of the crowd, all believing that some huge, massive injustice had taken place rather than a referee calling a decision wrong. We're all put together that they made that a pressure cooker kick right from the sideline, and he absolutely nailed it.
Yeah, no, credit to Luke Gale. I don't mind a bit of swagger.
Little old me.
I think he looks more like Super Hands anyway.
Maybe that's who he meant. Little old me said, great performance from the Tigers. Has Zach Hardacre finally grown up? I thought he was outstanding tonight, certainly man of the match, and England's fullback for the World Cup.
There you go. Fatboy Rob said it was good of McDermott to do Darren Powell's team talk in the week. He wanted a war. It's a shame Leeds decided to play as the Germans. The scoreboard didn't reflect Cass's dominance, with all Leeds' points coming from 2 brain farts. A bit of magic from Zach, one of our own, he says. Hardacre and Luke, man of steel, Gale, put Cass 7 points clear with our 7th win against the South Stand Moaners. # 7 in a row. # 7th heaven. # magnificent 7.
Yeah, he
enjoyed that one.
He loves going on about this run against Leeds.
Well, it's legit though, isn't it?
Yeah, long may it continue. Little old me, it's Darren, isn't it? Who else asks hypothetical questions but doesn't put question marks?
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know. Probably a lot of people.
Yeah, maybe. But anyway, Tyler
Swift fan.
Tyler Swift.
I think it's someone trying to call him Tyler Swift fan, like Taylor Swift.
Right, okay. Max pre-match prep talk did wonders for the Cass side. Leigh and Widner should consider hiring him. Roll on the top 2 clash this week. Cass win, and the Shield is all but over to the jungle.
There you go. Tim G Radio said Castleford are great to watch at the moment. Gale is visionary. Hardacre majestic with a beautiful try.
Alvin the 85 said, I'm looking forward to hearing the stats from this game as I haven't seen them. From the subdued South Stand, it looked like too many handling errors and needless penalties by Leeds that gave Cass the upper hand. Maguire is surely experienced enough to know better. Brilliant service to the club over the years, but a liability at times with his short fuse. Well played, Cass. The league leader's shield is now surely yours.
And Rich Wilkinson said, what can be said about the Rhinos? We dropped the ball early in the tackle count on our own line and did the same when we had good field position. Very disappointed. I still think we will beat Cass this season, but we will need to be a lot better than that. Whoever thought it would be a good idea to let a player on our books, whose wages we still play against us, needs a serious kick up the arse. Well, I must admit I was surprised that he was able to play, and that was not something that they squared away in the agreement.
It helped that he was like playing against who must be a contender for slowest fullback in Super League in Liam Sutcliffe, because for all his qualities...
He was there for his try, though.
For all his qualities, speed isn't necessarily one of them.
No. Was it Sutcliffe who took the try? No, Handley's try.
Handley picked the pocket of Ben Roberts.
Ben Roberts, that's okay. Yeah, well, Leeds didn't do much. They didn't do much wrong in defence, I didn't think, particularly, and they were up for it.
They conceded 3 tries.
They just didn't have... The problem for Leeds was just... First of all, I mean, they kept a very free-scoring side down. So they worked hard and they were up for it in their own way, but they just lacked in execution and attacking kind of dynamism for me in this one. What do you reckon?
Well, I recorded the game and I didn't get around to watching it at all until Sunday afternoon. And to be honest, it didn't hold my attention because... because I knew what had happened. I'd seen so much of the fallout about this Maguire stuff. I'd heard people talking about it or watched stuff about it already. How anyone can defend?
Yeah, exactly.
Gary Schofield was pretty much saying he did nothing wrong, and that's because Gary Schofield did exactly the same thing. He thought he knew better than the referees every single time as well, and thought he deserved to be the person that got the say to the referees. Yeah. And I'm sorry, Danny Maguire was completely bang out of order.
Of course he was. You're not supposed to the referee.
He went to the referee. He went right in the referee's face, swearing twice, not just once. He walked away, not off the pitch when he got sin-binned, walked away from the referee who just sin-binned him, then walked back, gave him another mouthful as he was getting his marching orders, having to get it for a second time. That's not on.
No.
Not on behaviour from someone.
No, of course not.
And I'm glad that a Leeds fan has picked it out. In amongst all of that, because when Liam Farrell did it the other week, I said deserves any ban he gets if he's been swearing at the referee, and that wasn't as blatant as Danny Maguire.
Yeah.
That was stood next to the referee having a go, not charging up to the referee necessarily having a go when the swearing occurred. Anyway, at least.
Absolutely. No, I agree wholeheartedly. I think it's utterly indefensible, and yet there's people who will say that.
Well, people cheered and clapped him off. It's what you get, isn't it? It's what fans are like.
It's fandom, though, isn't it?
Because fans are ultimately seriously biased.
Yeah, they're very much like the RFL, Mark.
Well, no, the RFL are more biased, and that's all their referees. They hate my club. So they hate your club.
I think no one cares about. I think my club are like oh yeah, remember
people
them.
Cared this week. But anyway,
remember them. Remember Bradford.
We'll get back to big old 0 pointers in a minute.
Yeah, the season starts here, James.
But honestly, Cass were better. They threatened more. Leeds kept them out, but Leeds didn't necessarily earn the scores they got either, did they?
No, that's true. They were giving gifts, weren't they? So
there was an element of controversy over that first try, in that whether Parcell got a touch on it or not, that would have been constituted a knock-on, although he got so close to it. I think McMeekan was lucky that Ben Roberts threw it to Ash Hanley, because McMeekan possibly could have been sin-binned, in my opinion. He'd certainly interfered with the run of Parcell after the ball at that instance, but the referee played it all on. Obviously, the big refereeing decision that led up into all that and caused all the fury was was it a knocked out ball by, was it Stevie Ward, or was it a drop by McShane?
Back to 6. Yeah.
No, I think he called. He might have called 6 again.
He called it.
He might have called 6 again, but they scored on the next play anyway.
Yeah.
But to my mind, I didn't endlessly pore over the replays of this. So you might know better than me, because you might have seen more replays of it, whereas I sort of faded out of them because I couldn't be bothered with all the argument going on Sky. But in my opinion, it might have been knocked out of his hand, and I'm not sure it will classify as a loose carry. But if it classifies as a loose carry, it won't be. It didn't go forwards.
No, it didn't go forwards.
In my view, it didn't go in front of McShane. But that's only from the limited attention I paid to the replays. Yeah. Now, the thing that would be frustrating for me as a Leeds fan is later on in the second half of the game, there was a similar instance, very, very similar instance, and it was giving us a knock-on against Leeds. Now, they're the things that annoy me when the same incident is viewed differently. Yeah. They're the ones that annoy me, and I don't think that's biased by referees. I think it's making a mistake.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what referees do, and people are entitled to comment and look at, and I'm certain the referee team do look at instances like that, and that's where you have your right for fair and balanced criticism, not like the seething venting of spleens that goes on at every single decision some of the time. So we're at this point now where any time a decision goes against you, people start absolutely foaming at the mouth over stuff. Now, those two instances that you're talking about, there's a disparity there between two very similar instances in the outcome in Robert Hicks's mind. So that's something for him to focus on and learn about and work on getting right next time, because he's a human and he's a normal bloke. And I'm certain that whilst those two things do exist, and I think there was some disparity in his decision making there, I'm also certain that Robert Hicks weren't dropping the ball all over the show, and I'm also certain that Robert Hicks weren't responsible for Danny Maguire running his mouth off, and I'm also sure
Danny Maguire might say Robert Hicks was responsible, but Danny
Maguire's fucking my age and he wants to watch his fucking tongue then, because he's playing fucking rugby league, and it's you don't sweat the fucking referee, not association football. And I'm pretty certain that Robert Hicks wasn't the one that was responsible for a relatively inept attacking performance, because he doesn't play for Leeds Rhinos. So, whilst those little tiny disparities exist, bigger fucking picture here, Leeds fans.
Yeah,
your own boys let you down.
It never felt like Leeds were going to
never once felt like they were going to kick off on them.
No.
Never once felt like they were going to get going.
No.
But do the stats bear that out?
Well, Leeds were credited with an extra clean break in this one, 4 to Cass's 3, despite a 3-2 try count win for Cass. That's where the good times end for Rhinos fans, though, I'm afraid. 403 more metres at half a metre per carry better average gain, 22 more tackle busts, 8 more successful offloads, which, you know, having more successful offloads against Leeds says something. All attacking wins for Cass added to a 3% better team tackle success. Big numbers. A huge number in this game, though, was the 20-9 error count lost by a Leeds side, more capable of shooting itself in the foot than Ben Roberts.
There you go. Individually,
that was that stat, though, that Albany pointed out. Fucking 20 errors.
Don't blame the ref when your team's making 20 errors.
No, and even if, say, 2 or 3 of them could have been called as penalties rather than knock-ons, or however you might want to see it, whatever, you're still dropping the ball a shitload of times.
That's it.
Coming out on exit sets as well as in attacking position, all over the field they were dropping it in all different manners of circumstance. And by the end of the game, Hicks had every right to give them all as knock-ons because there'd been that many already.
Yeah, there you go. Final game of Friday night.
We haven't done individuals. We haven't talked about Jamie Jones Buchanan getting a grade A charge for a shoulder hit and Danny Maguire grade C charge for his foul language to a match official, which I'm sure Leeds will argue down to a grade B, and then he'll get a 1-match ban.
Yes, there you go. Individually, who stood out for us then?
Zach Hardacre with a try, 9 tackle busts, 203 metres. Greg Eden with a try, 111 metres. Greg Minikin with a try assist, 146 metres. He just looks like Michael Shenton when he plays in the centre.
He does, doesn't he?
Just looks just like
his
him when he
younger
plays
brother
in
or
the
something,
centre.
yeah.
Mike McMeekin, 117 metres. J.I. Hitchcock came into this one, and 140 metres on the right wing for him.
Okay, so for the Leeds Rhinos...
Jamie Jones Buchanan, 40 tackles. Matt Parcell, 51 tackles. Callum Watkins, 40 tackles. Liam Sutcliffe, 118 metres. That's not really the sort of...
Well, those stats tell you everything you need to know, don't they? Busy night in defence.
Yeah, they're not the sort of numbers that you want to be getting from people like Parcell and Watkins.
No.
No attacking influence, but masses of defensive work doled out.
So, to stay with Friday night then, down at the Totally Wicked Stadium, there was a totally wicked end to this one. St Helens coming out on top, 25 points to 24 over the Salford Red Devils in front of 10,001, refereed by Scott Michalauskas, coming over here being biased and taking our jobs.
This is it though now. Where are we going to get our referees from?
This is it. This is thanks Brexit.
Anyway, Scott Michalauskas refereeing a game that didn't involve Widnes this year, which will have been a nice change for him.
Do you think he drove to Widnes just sort of accidentally? And then, oh, shit, I'm in St Helens. Good thing it's not too far away.
Yeah, Frogmore said, "I can't spake," which is the wrong use of that phrase because it's for outrage rather than joy, I suppose, or disbelief.
Exactly.
Maybe, I don't know. But anyway.
There you go. How did we win that game? Got in touch and said, still can't believe we won that. Fair enough.
I don't know. Might have been Frogmore, I don't know. Aidan Stalker got in touch and said, tried listening to this while watching Leeds Cast game and had my head divided like a T-1000 in Terminator 2.
I bet.
I ended up not making out much of what happened in either, but was whooping and hollering like an idiot at the end. Hopefully Saints can finish strongly now, but I don't know where I stand with this lot.
There you go. Okay, Mitchell Dart said, Robert Louis with the Paul Carriage play, and what a shame that is. Let's Matty Smith kick one of the great game-winning field goals. I've watched the kick too many times to count. It's just that goddamn wonderful. Side note, the great field goals kicked in English footy is damn impressive. O'Brien, Sandow and Pat Richards come to mind straight away. Hard to split them.
Yeah, you throw Lee Breers in that, but to be honest, my opinion, Matty Smith, totally at the top there.
Yeah.
To do
As
this...
the hoot was going off.
To do this more than one time... in a career is impressive. To get that kick 42 metres or whatever he kicked it with minimal backlift, minimal preparation for it.
Yeah, it wasn't set up, was it?
No, it wasn't. The defence were only yards away. I mean, they were knackered, but they were only yards away. Awesome. I've seen him do it for Wigan more than once. You know, there was the one against Hull FC away last season. There was the one against someone at home the year before. Was it Widnes or maybe Hull FC again the year before at home. Anyway, he's done it countless times. He's kicked a few drop goals that haven't had that amount of pressure on him too, but I just think in terms of quantity as well as the quality and clutch moments of some of these, they're the best. I mean, maybe the best one I've ever seen in Super League was either Richards from out wide or O'Brien's was in the £1 million game, but classic sort of Super League.